The purpose of this video is to be used as a teaching device for the mixing and proper use of ATD3, which is a surfactant chemical used on jewelry in the field for basically just keeping pieces from tarnishing. Tarnish, of course, is an oxide which attacks the surface of jewelry. And what this product does is creates a barrier so this doesn't happen. So we will start out basically by talking about what type of materials we'll need to set up and get everybody set on using this product. You can use, such as we have here, which are glass beakers, and you can use them in various different sizes, as large as you wish to go up to. You can use stainless steel as a container or polypropylene. You can see here we have just standard hot plates that we're using electric with rheostat controls. You may wish to get a thermostatically controlled thermocouple unit that is digitally controlled that are out there on the market. That way it kind of takes the headache out of understanding what your temperatures are, how they're going to be controlled and not overcooked. And this might be advisable. This is one such unit in which you may want to take a look at. They are rather expensive. They're about $500. It's a ceramic top, thermostatically thermal controlled unit. So whatever temperature you set it at is going to be exactly right there and not over. If you choose to go with a regular type of hot plate, you've got to be very, very careful. Bring your temperatures up slow and make sure you get your exact set temperatures before you go ahead and add your solution to your deionized water for the mix. You'll need 2 or 3 different hot plates actually. One you're going to need for heating the water or DI water to a boiling temperature for your pre-dip, and we'll go through this and talk about that. Then of course you're going to have your main beaker size for your solution dip itself. Then you're going to have a couple other smaller containers or whatever you choose to use, beakers, maybe they're just plain beakers like this. And you'll have 2 of those, and these are rinses to use after you've used the dip itself. And this is just to take the excess residue from the dip itself off. And we'll go through that in a little bit here. In order to make the solution, the temperature is extremely important in this. The mixing temperature is going to be between 40 and 45 degrees centigrade, or 104 to 113 degrees Fahrenheit. And this is important for the proper temperature for using the dip itself. If you exceed 140 degrees, the solution itself will actually separate and you'd ruin the batch. So you're going to be very careful about going too hot with this formulation. And as you can see here, we've got different ways. You can either, like I said, have this thermostat controlled hot plate. You can use like a standard cooking thermometer, get your temperature of your DI water up to in the first place if you want to use that. But you got to set your temperature. And here I've used a thermocouple, a K-type thermocouple, to get a very accurate temperature. And we've shown that on the display of the unit itself right here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove this out of the way, and we're going to get ready to start mixing the solution itself. When you mix the solution, you start out with the deionized water. Now this is going to be mixed at 9 parts DI water and 1 part of the solution. The solution will either come to you in a 4-liter container or in 100 milliliter containers, depending on how you order it. Today we've got a 2,000 milliliter beaker. At the moment it has 1,800 milliliters of deionized water already heated to temperature. So we know at 9 parts DI and 1 part the solution, we've got 2,000, so we need 2 of these. So for 2,000 milliliters of solution, I have 2 100 milliliters of concentration that'll be going into the solution. Now that we've added the concentration to the deionized water, you want to use a stir stick to stir this with, preferably a glass or ceramic rod. And you will need to stir this solution periodically as you're using it because it will separate a little bit. But just, stir it before use each time and you will be fine. Again, want to watch your temperatures closely. Keep it between 40 and 45 degrees centigrade for your mixture. Once you start to mix this, you want to let it sit for probably 2 hours and let it make sure that it thoroughly gets mixed in and before you use the solution. This will just make sure that all the emulsions that are in there just get a good saturation. Okay. Now that we've mixed our solution, I'm going to start out with just some basic bangles. These happen to be a special bronze that are made, and of course high copper based formulations are going to want to tarnish quite quickly, and we've learned this over the years. But before we go ahead and dip this, we will notice that we have the beaker over here on the hot plate in a rolling boil water. Now we want to submerge our pieces from anywhere from 20 to 30 seconds just to make sure we get them opened up. And when I mean opened up, I mean heated up so that the actual pores of the metal will open a little bit more and accept the depth a little bit better. So we've got them in there, say 30 seconds or so now, and then we go right directly into the solution. We put the pieces in the solution, we just give a quick stir. Now, in the testing, we have found out that the longer we can actually leave the pieces in a surfactant, the better. I've done testing on 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 6 minutes, and 8 minutes of submersion into the solution on the exact same pieces. Then we put them through a vapor chamber with a liver sulfur solution, and we've kept track of how long it takes for certain pieces to tarnish. We have found that 8 minutes seems to be about the maximum that you can leave the pieces in, because after that there's not an increase in protection. So anywhere between 2 and 8 minutes is what you want to leave the pieces in, and 2 minutes is really just a minimum. 8 minutes is maximum coverage, and that's where you're going to get your best protection from the tarnished issues. Basically, we're going to talk about a little bit about, rather than just regular jewelry, you can also use pieces of jewelry that you have finished. Of course, you've already put the stones in them, you've finished polished, you've cleaned them very, very well. And this is extremely important, is make sure your pieces are very clean, whether they're steam clean or ultrasonic cleaned, because this is the last step that you do. And of course, you can use stones in boiling water and into the solution as long as they are a hard stone. I mean, you don't want to take like turquoise or real fine, soft materials because it could damage them. But on harder stones, you're going to be just fine with. And here we have a piece that is sterling silver, pink silver, and brass. It's a 3-color combination with a piece of jade. And of course, again, we will dip it into the boiling water just to open the pores of the metal up a little bit. Then again, once you've finished the dip there, go right into the solution. Give it a quick stir, and then we will leave it here for 8 minutes, and then we will remove it in a little bit here. Now the pieces have been in for 8 minutes, which is the time that we really would like to see them in there. And once we take the pieces out, we want to go into a cold DI water rinse, and we want to use 2 different baths. The first one is right out of solution. And that's just to take the excess, because there's going to be a little bit of a residue from the solution on there. Then you go into the second DI water rinse, and that's just to make doubly sure that everything that was left over is gone now. Then from there, we can go directly into a hot box for drying. or they can just be left out and left dry on their own. And your coverage is on there, and this will give you the coverage that it's very typical. Like most people will want to use an E-coating for protection, but they don't like that feel to it. This will give you a shelf life protection that's minimum 4 times that of regular sterling on the shelf life. Or on certain pieces like gold, it's going to give you 6 to 8 times normal shelf life. So the solution itself is really, really an advantage. It's time saver, it's a money saver, and your customers are going to be happy.